The morning of day 3, the rain had stopped, so we packed up the scooters, put on our now semi-dry gear, and got on the road. Before we get into today's ride, let's talk about the El Pueblo Lodge where we stayed last night. The exterior is styled to mirror the Taos Pueblo Adobe, and the rooms are well appointed with appropriate furnishings. I love it when hotels use these old plastic motel keychains for your room key. Also, one of the yummiest breakfasts of the trip, included with your stay.
Well, this is the start of day 3. It's June 3rd. And we are headed from Taos, New Mexico to Ouray, California. Highlight of the day, hopefully, will be the $1 Million Highway between Silverton, Colorado and Ouray, Colorado. And the first stop, before we even leave Taos, is to go see the Taos Pueblo Adobe. So, we might as well see it. We're here.
Hi there! The first stop before we leave Taos is the Taos Pueblo Adobe. Built sometime between 1000 and 1450 years AD, Pueblo de Taos is one of North America's oldest continuously inhabited settlements. In 1992, it was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We enjoyed walking around the grounds and marveled at the ancient multi-level architecture. Just 10 miles outside of Taos, we crossed the Rio Grande Gorge. Rising 600 feet from the bottom, the bridge over the gorge is the 7th highest bridge in the United States, and quite a sight to be seen. Just a few miles more brings us to the Eathships Biotecture community. The Eathships are a self-reliant community built out of recycled materials like earth-rammed tires, cans, and bottles. The architecture is both fantastic and fascinating. They have a small museum on site and offer tours of the community. Sadly, we have a long day ahead of us and needed to get back on the road. For the next 100 miles, we rode through the Carson National Forest. Long, desolate stretches through the desert can be pretty boring. Thankfully, Valerie was up for stopping and doing some desert debris modeling. This old truck is the perfect place to pose for artistic adventurer photos.
Just past a sign that said No cell service next 50 miles. Use caution during winter months. So in other words, don't fuck around out here because you'll die.
We seem to have climbed a bit and left the desert. We're now in a wooded part of the forest. This rest area came along just at the right time for a very special pit stop. We took a moment to enjoy the view and celebrated Rolf the scooter turning 50,000 miles on the odometer.
Yay, 50,000 miles!
Wildlife crossings are structures that allow animals to cross human-made barriers safely. A simple grass bridge provides a path of least resistance to keep wildlife safely out of the road.
But of course, it's beginning to rain. Historic Durango. Durango, Colorado, home of Purgatory Mountain.
Durango is also the home of SKA Brewing. We enjoyed a quick lunch break and looking through all their mod scooter decorations. I felt it was only right to leave a scooter decoration of my own. This is where the riding gets interesting. Leaving Durango, it's a 50-mile climb into the mountains to Silverton, Colorado.
Hilltop Mountains.
The town of Silverton, Colorado sits at 9,300 feet in elevation in a remote part of the San Juan Mountains, one of the ranges of the Rocky Mountains. The first mining claims were made in the mountains above Silverton in 1860. The entire town has been designated as a National Historic Landmark. The next 25 miles between Silverton and Ouray, Colorado, is known as the $1 Million Highway. It is renowned for hairpin turns, lack of guardrails, and dramatic 11,000-foot Red Mountain Pass. Folklore suggests it cost $1 million a mile to build, or that it contains $1 million worth of gold ore in the roadway fill. Although it probably refers to the high cost of construction in the 1920s.
Wow, a waterfall over the road with a tunnel.
That brings us to Ouray, Colorado for the night.
Well, that was pretty okay.
This is definitely a town I'd like to come back and explore more. I stayed the night in the historic Beaumont Hotel. Built in 1886, the Beaumont is definitely one of the higher-end overnights on this trip. The rooms are gorgeous. And where else are you going to stay that has a waterfall right in the backyard?